Hello, friends, and welcome back to Meme of the Month. Lovely to have everyone here. So, we are going to do our usual and introduce everyone because this is a rotating cast. We don't have the same folks every time, and you may notice that we have a completely new face, which is very exciting. So we're going to start off. We're just running across the top of the screen. Players, if you happen to have Twitch up, you can see the order you're going in. Otherwise, it's going to be a surprise. We are going to start with Lady Bedivere.
Hello, my name is Alondra, aka Lady Bedivere. I'm a streamer and game master with the Quest and Chaos Network and the Torpid Gaming Network. I've been on Meme of the Month quite a few times now for some inexplicable reason, and I'm very excited to be here again and test a whole new system that I've never played before.
Excellent. Next up, we have Brandon.
Hey guys, I'm Brandon. You could usually catch me over on Ink and Liar. This is my first time here on the Meme of the Month stream, meeting all of these wonderful people. I don't know what I'm walking into today, but I'm really excited and I'm pumped. So, yeah.
Excellent. Next up, we have Megan.
Hello, I'm Megan. I've been on a few meme of the months. At this point, I'm also on Eclipse on Majestic Goose Network with Danny. And you can also check out my podcast, Quest Laid Plans. And I'm like so beyond excited for this. I've been telling everybody this system is so cool. I'm so excited.
Excellent. And then Tanya.
Hi, I'm Tanya. I write stuff. You should read it.
Yes. Yes, you should.
I've been on several memes of the month. I've done a couple of things with the Majestic Goose Network, which I love. And I am so excited to play. I went out and I bought like this giant bag of fortune cookies, and then last night I was at a friend's house and they had Chinese food, and I was like, I didn't have to spend my $2. I could have just taken these. But it gave me an opportunity to tell them, hey, tune in, we're doing this whole fortune cookie thing and it's going to be awesome.
Excellent. And I am Danny. I'm going to be your host tonight and your fortune teller because we are playing a new system. This is the streaming debut of this system. I have test played it at a live convention, and I have test played it with small groups online, but this is the first live stream of it, so cross your fingers that it all goes well, but I'm excited about it. And so our meme, you can see in our lower right-hand corner? Yes, lower right-hand corner. The idea is, instead of using dice, we're going to use fortune cookies for this game. And let me first show you what the game is going to be packaged in. This is a plush fortune cookie. And inside, it holds 24 fortune cookies, plus the rules for the game, packaged as if they are a fortune, which is super fun. I'm really excited. This game is excellent for con one-shots, where you set something up really quickly. You don't have to have a complicated character sheet. For the most part, your characters will be, well, average folks, normal people. They're not heroes, they're not wizards, they're not magic users. They're average people who are dining together at a Chinese restaurant. The items that you have on you aren't crazy weapons or armor or anything like that. It is the stuff that you have in your bag on your person, which is really easy to do at a con because everyone's carrying around bags of stuff, and you get some interesting options that come up. So, the important thing to know is that this system is very rules light and roleplay heavy. So, these guys are going to carry a lot of the load, but that's okay because it's a lot of fun. The GM for this system is the fortune teller, so I will be your fortune teller tonight. And again, we are using fortune cookies instead of playing cards or dice or any other item that you would use. And when I feel that something needs an outside excuse or reason to happen or anything that you normally call for a dice roll for, I'm going to tell you that it's cookie time. And when it's cookie time, I think of that every time.
I'm so glad. It's such an underrated bop.
But when it is cookie time, you're going to open up a fortune cookie and read the fortune. So for things like initiative, we'll have everyone open up their fortunes and read me their fortunes, and using that, I'll decide who goes first, etc. There will be times that you'll read out your fortune and I know exactly what I'm going to do with it. But if I don't know right away, I will ask for opinions from the group on the interpretation of the fortune, so that we can have sort of a sharing of ideas. That way no one gets stuck. It's not a whole lot of me sitting here thinking. So, we start our evening. At the end of dinner, you all have been sharing a meal together. But more importantly, you all know each other. This is not just 4 random adventurers meeting in a pub. You're having dinner together for a reason. So we're going to start by going across again, and I'll have you just introduce your character so that everyone knows who everyone's playing. And once we've done that, we're going to figure out, how do you all know each other? So, Alondra, who are you playing tonight?
I am playing Viola. As it says in her bio, Viola's parents are really worried that she needs to settle down. Viola is 35 and in her 6th year of her PhD program and isn't sure how that's not settled. But that's an argument for dinner at their house, and this is dinner at the Chinese restaurant, so she's not too worried about that. But yeah, a PhD student studying highly esoteric medieval literature. Hence the reason that she's been a candidate for 6 years. She's mostly teaching at this point. She has not been actually working on her thesis that much. So, and this is one of those rare breaks where she leaves campus.
Okay. Brandon, tell us about your character.
All right. I'm playing a guy. His name is Nelson. He's like in his mid-20s. He's a little nerdy guy, really thin and wiry, kind of socially awkward. He spends a lot of time online, probably on Reddit and Twitch. And definitely, could use some more sun. He spends a lot of his time inside and stuff, and he occasionally comes out when he gets invited by his friends to come eat Chinese food. So that's why he's here.
All right. Megan.
All right. Also, sorry, my smoke alarm went off. I had to blow my candle out. I don't know if you heard that, but my character is Joanne. She's 70, but she's a young 70. She goes to her aerobics classes at the Y. She loves to party, and I think she's probably someone's aunt. And if not literally, then like that's the vibe. She has aunt vibes. Yeah.
All right, and Tanya.
I'm playing Tabitha. She is 50 years old, chronically ill, but stubborn as all get out. Tends to resonate more with the younger crowd. Like, she has nothing in common with other 50-year-olds. Like, no PTA for her. And she loves Chinese food, so...
All right. So we've got quite the range of ages here, which is fantastic. So we've got mid-20s, 35, 50, and 70.
I like that the 35-year-old is the oldest person at the table, though. Like, definitively.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that we'd had a little bit of chatting in Discord before this, but how do you feel like you're all related?
I had pitched the idea that maybe Joanne is literally my aunt, or some, relative within my family, and probably that I get along better with her than, like, my parents, because she's not asking me, like, when are you gonna finish school? Or, like, when, like, she's just like, no, you want to go, like, have dinner and hit up a club or something? Like, whatever it is that is Joanne's vibe.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
If I'm not literally someone's mother, I feel like I'm the the young mom friend. Like,
Okay. Do you think that you would know, like, Joanne through like the aqua size classes, or
It's possible.
would you
Yeah.
I
know
do.
Viola through the university, or
No, I think Tabitha would probably have met Joanne at the pool
okay.
Yes.
because she does her very no impact kind of heated pool stuff,
Mhm.
and is
Okay.
always looking over at the lab pool, going, "What? Huh?" And Joanne.
Okay, okay. Nelson, how do you fit into this group?
I don't know. I might have met Viola on like a forum or something.
Okay.
You know, yeah, we might have like been we might
What's Nelson's like big like fandom? Like do you like is there like a specific maybe like show or movie that you're super into? Because maybe Viola either has academic interest in it or that's her like secret like nerdy thing is
let me think. I don't hang on, I'm being put on the spot. I think he's really, really into like I don't know, maybe he's like super into like Marvel and DC movies.
okay.
Like, yeah. And yeah, he might be one of those Snyderverse guys. He's like
There we go.
Yeah. So, you know. Yeah, we might have crossed paths on like the internet forum or something like that. Or maybe at the university. I don't know.
I was, maybe do you like do like freelance IT work
Yes.
for the university?
Yes.
And so that's every time I need my projector fixed because the other teacher unplugged something they shouldn't.
Right, yeah. Nelson comes in and fixes it for you.
And then we talk about who made the best Batman.
Right. Which clearly it's a golly, who was it? The animated one.
Oh yeah, Kevin
yeah.
Conroy, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay. So Viola and Nelson probably had plans to have dinner and get a little bit deeper into the fandoms. And Joanne, I think you wanted to check in on Viola because, you know, her parents are being kind of insane. And, you know, you worry about her and having to put up with them.
Can I make a suggestion?
Absolutely.
Tabitha is also a psychic fortune teller kind of tarot card reader, and if Joanne is concerned about her PhD candidate, she could have asked, for me to kind of read the situation,
Mm-hmm.
which would have put me at the table.
Okay, I
Yeah.
love this.
Beautiful.
Okay. So we've established generally why you all have joined each other for dinner because you're a bit of a mixed bag group, but it works. And you had a lovely dinner. Everything went well. The food was fantastic. And at the end of the meal, they bring around fortune cookies because, well, that used to be what they do. Apparently, there's some sort of fortune cookie price gouging thing happening, and maybe that doesn't happen as much now. But you all get your fortune cookies and you break them open, and each of you has the same fortune inside. And the fortune reads, "You are destined for greatness."
Hey, I'm destined for greatness. Okay.
Wait, you too?
Yeah, what is you did you get
Yeah.
the same one?
I'm destined for greatness.
I feel like they
Wow.
didn't shake the bag very well. That's the
Yeah.
one I got
You
too.
too?
Must have been a reprint because I got the exact same thing.
Oh, yeah, they must not have shaken the bag. That's crazy.
What does that mean,
Oops.
Tabitha? Is that like a thing?
Well, I'm sensing that it's true. I really feel like we are all destined for greatness in our own ways. But I can't explain why we all have the same thing.
Your gift is beautiful.
All
Well,
right.
it's pretty clear why we all have the same one. I mean, I guess they just printed off a bunch of the same fortune and just put them all in the same bag. It's pretty simple, actually.
Is there anyone else in the restaurant?
There's no one else having dinner. There is a hostess who is sort of hovering near the hostess stand by the entrance, and you're pretty sure you hear the cooks in the kitchen.
I was gonna see if anyone else got that fortune.
There's no one
It's
else
just
around.
us.
Excuse me, hostess.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
We all got the same fortune. Does that ever happen? It's so funny.
Oh.
We never heard this happen before.
That is so unusual. No, I don't think I've ever heard of that happening before. Here, why don't I bring you all another round just so that, everything is good.
Oh, you're so sweet. Yeah, we would love that. More cookies.
Great.
All right.
It's nice.
More cookies is always better.
And let's
Yeah.
go ahead and do a cookie time. So everyone, break open a new cookie, and let's hear what your fortunes are. There will be crinkle warnings, I'm sure, for this. So,
I'm sorry.
Can
I mean, that's
somebody
what happens with cookies.
I'll get one for you.
For Nelson,
Brandon.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, fortune cookie shortages are a thing.
There.
Yes.
For the sake of making this feel really real, let me type in and message you.
Oh,
in
yeah, that'd be
Zoom,
cool.
in
Okay.
the Zoom, Brandon, so that you can see yours, and then you can read it off yourself.
All right. Upon reading his fortune, Nelson's face just drops. He's like, he's kind of disappointed with his.
Did you get the same one again?
No, it says, "Be assertive and you will win."
In bed. See, it's really good.
Oh, I don't.
Didn't you used to play that game?
Yeah, but they don't. It's the kids are so weird about it now. Like it's not like it was. They're
They
very
don't do
shy.
it?
They're very shy about things like that. They just don't want to hear us talk about it. It's all right. Well, I got, even in the greatest confusion, there is an open channel into the soul. So,
That is so true. And you
Yeah.
have such a beautiful soul. It's
Tabitha, thank you. As do you. What did you get, Viola?
I think mine came from a different bag. Mine says a resort area will be part of your next holiday plans.
Hey, okay.
I mean, I don't have scheduled holiday plans for like another 2 years, so
This-
I don't,
this could
I
be
don't
a
You
know
could
about
sign.
that.
definitely use a vacation. I'm sensing so much stress, really, and there's this resistance in there. You could use a vacation.
Yeah, but then I would have to give up teaching over summer term, and if I give up teaching over summer term, then I'm not going to be able to take a, lesser load in the fall term with the teaching to be able to refocus on chapter 17 of my. You know what? Nobody wants to hear about this. This is supposed to be a fun night.
Maybe they need a teacher at the resort, Teach the people who live there.
Resort people need teachers too.
I don't know if people who work at resorts really want to hear an in-depth analysis of Heloise and Abelard, but I'll look into it, I guess.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
might.
It depends on the resort.
There's always online classes. Just teach that way.
It's true. I have gotten pretty good at navigating the online Blackboard system now that you showed me all of those back-end tricks.
Hey, it's useful information.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm not quite sure where mine came from. Fear is interest paid on a debt you may not owe.
That's
And I'm not entirely sure what I might be afraid of on that one.
huh.
Aside from, everything.
If you're afraid
But I
of
mean, my
everything, just
anxiety's medicated now, so I'm not really that afraid.
and if you're afraid of everything, doesn't that also mean you're afraid of nothing?
Indeed. Everything, nothing. In between.
Should we be leaving? Are they closing? We're like the only people in here, and my anxiety says that means that they're just waiting for us to leave.
Are they doing the thing with the silverware? Where they're wrapping them at the table in the back?
You know what? The hostess is. She
We-
started just
We-
Oh,
pushing up
yeah,
some
no,
silverware.
that's- Yeah, well, listen, speaking of a debt we may not owe, but we may. We paid the bill, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The fortune cookies came out when she brought the cards back to the table.
Okay, then yeah, I think that's a nice way to end the evening.
It is a good way, and it was so nice to meet all of you. There's just such good energy at this table.
That is so good to hear.
You know, Nelson, I know you're a little nervous, but you've got this. There's a strength in you that you don't know yet.
Thank you.
All right. So you all get up from the table and start heading outside. You open the door to a bright, glorious, sunny afternoon.
Why do they always keep those restaurants so dark?
And
You know, it's actually an interesting question. They keep the restaurants dark, and usually they'll use like bright colors like reds or yellows, so kind of create this atmosphere and keep you isolated from what's going on outside. It's supposed to foster community and speaking at the table, things like that. And the color red actually makes you a little bit nervous, which is probably why you guys' anxiety was going off to get you to leave.
So they foster community but hurry you out the door. That's
Yeah.
a really interesting strategy.
Yeah, something about like speeding up the digestion so you order more food or something. I've heard. I don't remember.
They can
how that
flip the
works.
tables, get more business in or something.
Yeah, there's like a whole psychology between around like the different colors that they put up in restaurants. A lot of them.
Wow.
You don't see a lot of blue because blue's very relaxing.
Hmm.
And they don't want you relaxed when you eat. For some reason.
Speaking of blue, I never remember where I parked, and I've got one of those blue cars that looks blue or green or black or kind of like depending on the lighting. So if anybody spots my Camry, it's somewhere along the road. I know I street parked. I always lose track of where.
so as you're looking for your car, two things occur to you. First, it's a bright, sunny afternoon. But you went to the restaurant for dinner. And they were closing because it was the end of the night.
Yeah.
And that slowly dawns on all of you after, the discussion about restaurant psychology. And the other thing you notice is that there are no cars on the street.
Wait, how long were we in there?
I don't know.
Did you? I didn't
Why?
put my phone on silent. I normally leave it on when I'm out in case, and I'm gonna fish around in my little side bag and pull my phone out of the pocket.
As you all look at your Apple Watches and your cell phones, the displays are all black.
Start tapping mine.
Alondra, something's happening. I don't know. Can you look at this for me? I never know what this thing is doing.
Let me check. Let me see if I got it.
Also, I'm sorry. You're not Alondra. You're Viola. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
You met as many people as I have in my life. You stop mixing up names.
Mom went through a lot of name options for me. She reminds me constantly. The three middle names are really more than enough. It's fine. Let me look and see.
She might have been tapping into your past life energy with all of these names.
Was I having a regression?
You might have, maybe.
Oh,
Maybe.
because I've been working on that.
Do you think something in that restaurant could have bricked all of our phones with the? You were telling me something on the forums about the electrostatic energy and how they use it in superhero movies, but there's like real technology with the
there's like electromagnetic fields, EMPs, and stuff like that. But I don't know if
I don't usually think of a Chinese restaurant as a place that doesn't want you using your cell phone like a theater, but okay.
Right.
If there's no cars, are there any other people?
There are no
Did
people.
my car get stolen?
So all of the where are the cars of the employees?
There's
That
nothing.
right there. There's
And as you
nothing.
start looking,
Is the restaurant still there?
Is the restaurant
the restaurant is still behind you.
Who
Okay.
are we?
But on the other side of the street, where there should be more restaurants and shops, There's just a forest.
Okay, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Nelson's gonna turn around and try to go back inside of the restaurant.
Okay.
Nature, get it off.
Yeah.
You go back inside, and the girl at the hostess counter greets you. Hello, how many in your party tonight?
Hey, no. Sorry, we were actually just in here.
Oh,
What happened to
were
the
you?
buildings across the street?
Would you like to sit down? Have you been out in the sun? Can I get you some water?
No, I could actually use a bottle of water now that you mention it. But yeah, no, we were just in here. You gave us fortune cookies earlier.
We give out fortune cookies to everyone, but we just opened for dinner. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Would you like to have a seat? I'll get you a glass of water. How's that?
No, because they were.
It's taking a while, so Tabitha's gonna open the door and like stick her head back in and be out. Just check the time in here. What time is it in here?
Yeah. Does your phone work by chance?
Oh, we don't have a phone. The employees just use their own. That's fine.
Okay.
But a Chinese restaurant doesn't have a phone.
Yeah. How do you take orders?
Oh, we don't do outside orders. Everything is sit down. And we don't take reservations. We found that just got to be too much of a headache, and we needed to hire an extra person, and the boss didn't want to hire anyone else, so we just have me.
You're missing out on like a lot of other streams of revenue. You know that?
That's what I keep telling him, but he really doesn't want to move into even the 20th century, honestly.
Huh.
What
Which
century
century is
does
he
live
in?
Well, I feel like he's from probably the 1700s, but he's really like a 1950s kind of guy. But
1700s is past my era. I can't help with this one. Sorry, guys.
Even I wasn't born yet.
Yeah. Okay.
And you don't remember, and I'm like waving everybody back in, and you don't remember us having dinner.
no, you look like lovely people. I'm sure I'd remember you.
I'm gonna check my Apple Watch. Is it working now?
No.
No. Okay.
I mean,
Strange.
this is a crazy question. Where are you parked?
Just out front. There's a parking lot like a half a block down.
Half a block down.
Is parking? Is
Just a
that
little parking
before or
lot.
after the forest?
There's not a forest.
I'm gonna wave her towards the door.
She looks out.
Just come here. Forest.
Did you all maybe do some drugs?
You know
What you
what?
put in the fortune cookies.
Thank you very much. I'm so sorry to have bothered you. I think maybe the sunstroke was correct. If the parking lot is outside, then I'll bet that's where I parked. I always forget where I park my car,
Oh,
and
okay.
we probably just lost track. Maybe we should all go check the parking lot, guys.
All right. Well,
Okay.
good luck finding your cars, and we're
Thank
open
you.
every evening for dinner at 6.
At 6
Wonderful.
Yes.
And it's always the sun. At 6
p.m.
p.m.
It's not sunny. It's sort of twilighty.
Are there windows in here?
There are. They're mostly covered, like plastered with posters.
Okay.
Huh.
Create that dark dining environment. That we
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Viola's gonna step back outside. Is it still bright and with the forest across the street?
Yep.
I think maybe she was the one on drugs.
Does anybody smell gas? Is there like a gas leak in there? Carbon monoxide?
that wouldn't change the sun. I feel like
Are we
the
having
energy
some?
is so strange here. It's so vibrant.
Tabitha, have you ever experienced anyone who's like, or known anyone who's had like a mystic's vision? Because like maybe I've just spent too much time not working on my dissertation, but this seems like the sort of stuff that I studied, where like back in the Middle Ages, people would like, you know, they would be starving and there would be plague and all this stuff, and then they would have these like crazy esoteric visions of like other worlds and stuff, and write them all down. That's kind of what I feel. I feel like I just walked into one of those. I don't know what's happening, and I feel like, you know, my great-great-grandfather and my favorite author are gonna show up and walk me through hell or something.
It's a past life regression.
Then why is everyone else here? Do we all have the same past life? What's happening?
That would be so profound.
That we knew each other, even at our cores. Maybe our souls knew each other.
No, I'm pretty sure I just met you guys tonight.
Yeah, I also don't believe any of this stuff. Like, it's an academic interest. I did write an entire chapter on like medieval mystics who were probably on drugs and didn't know it.
And with that, I think I need Viola to give me a cookie time, please.
Cookie time.
Ooh.
Viola's anxiety is not medicated, as we will find out. Joy will come with the return of a good friend.
Here comes Grandpa and your favorite author.
See, it's a return. Us being together is a return because we knew each other before.
Of course you knew me before. You knew my mom the entire time she was pregnant with me, and before that.
That is true.
That's sort of how relatives work for the most part.
Viola, do you have a close friend or a childhood friend that you were close with that you've lost touch with?
I think Viola probably had a couple of like friends that she was pretty close with through high school.
Okay.
You know, had like the like bookworm kid group that she hung out with, and then we all went to different colleges and
Okay.
sort of gradually lost touch after that. So yeah, I think she probably had like the high school best friend Sarah, who was like the one who they would study each other's houses and hang out more so, and then went to opposite sides of the country for college.
Okay. As you are having your anxiety increase, you see some movement out of the corner of your eye, and you look towards that weird forest, and you see a person, just the form of a person, sort of deep within the trees, coming closer. And as they get closer and closer, you're pretty sure that you recognize Sarah from high school. But the strange thing is, she looks like Sarah from high school.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yep.
I think it's something that Joanne has probably experienced before many times. Viola is like that like word vomit stream of consciousness explaining whatever, and it just sort of like trails off mid sentence as she's staring over at the forest, slowly kind of making the connection, and then just sort of like kind of starts making the hand gesture, like the waving in that direction, like trying to ask, is anybody else seeing this, but not getting to the actual words.
Are we seeing it?
You are. You're all seeing like a 17-year-old woman looking, well, wearing fashion from about 20 years ago. And
She just walked out of the forest.
yeah.
This is so sad. I watched a thing on this on like 60 Minutes. There's sometimes these kids that just live in the forest. They're called wild feral children.
Wild feral children?
I'm not sure that outfit is really feral.
Sarah?
Maybe she was lost. You know, sometimes if you just, you know, when you really are just in a vision and you're really just experiencing it.
Viola's gonna start walking across the street.
And as you call her name, she turns towards you and lifts a hand and sort of waves.
Who is
Viola, do you know this child?
Fully walking away from you guys. Sarah, it's Viola from. Hi.
From Mrs. Allen's class, yeah, and everything else. Of course, I know
Yeah.
you. Why are you acting so weird?
We haven't seen each other in so long, and I didn't know you were in the country.
I mean,
thought-
it's only been like an hour since school let out. It's fine. It's not been that long. Jeez, you are so overreacting.
Do you go to school in the forest?
Well, no, obviously I go to school in a school.
Is the school in the forest?
No, the school's in the town. Your
Why did
friend
you
here
come
is
out of the
really kind of
forest?
funny.
Tabitha's psychic. She
Oh, that's so cool. Can you read my
sees-
palm?
I can.
She holds her hand out to you.
I will look at the lines and
Go
I will
ahead
see.
and give me a cookie time to see
Oh,
what sort of
sure.
thing you find.
I'm looking in your palm and I'm seeing, oh, a cookie. Wow.
Vela just turns to Nelson while this is going on, mouths what the fuck? Oh no.
Son said even Popeye didn't eat his spinach until he had to.
Oh, okay. Let's figure out what that could mean on a palm.
What is it? Could you say it again?
Son said, S-O-N,
Okay.
even Popeye didn't eat his spinach until he had to.
I think when you're reading her palm, you're getting hints of time being incorrect.
Like her lines aren't where they're supposed to be.
No. Things are not happening as they should for her. At all.
I feel like reading this here, it looks like there's been some conflict, but maybe not physical conflict. It really looks like you're feeling disjointed and out of place.
Oh my god, you're so right. This whole senior year thing is so hard, and I don't feel like anything's right. I don't feel like I belong. Oh, you are so good. Your friend here is so good, Viola. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's pretty spot on most of the time.
Well, you should keep her around. Oh, you should get her to come to your party.
You having a party, Viola? You didn't tell me about this.
Well,
I love
she has a
parties.
party every year for her birthday, of course.
What can I bring? All I have at home is chocolate cake and red wine.
It's your birthday?
It's fine.
I mean,
I know that.
she'll be 18, so I think red wine will be okay, right? I mean, your parents are, well, actually, your parents aren't cool at all.
I-
But I'm the fun aunt, so it's okay.
Oh, you're her aunt! Oh my god, okay, yeah, totally. As long as
Viola's
you're not a
racking her
responsible
brain
adult.
Violet's racking her brain trying to remember the last birthday party she had, and like the last one she can remember was when she was in like 5th grade. Like she barely had people over for her birthday for that, but she never threw like a party. So she's just like, what? What is your definition of a party?
Look, how about you just come over to my place? Let's just go now, and we'll grab some chips and some drinks, and we'll settle in. And you know that Survivor is on.
That's a
Yeah. Do you
That's a bit like
do you mind if my Aunt Joanne and my friends come along? We
Oh, no, I
the
mean,
car that we brought looks like it might have gotten towed, and I think
Oh my
maybe we need to
God.
call. I know, right?
Yeah, you can totally come
so-
over.
Yeah, if we could just come over,
Wait,
we'll
where-
use the phone.
Where?
Nelson, this is my best friend Sarah from Algebra 2.
Hi, Nelson. So nice to meet
Very
you.
codedly, like staring at you with the go with the flow eyes, like ah.
Hi, Sarah from the forest. It's nice to meet you.
I love you guys keep talking about this forest. You're so weird. Just come on. We'll go to my parents' place and like just chill, and we'll watch some Survivor, and it'll be fine. I love having people over to watch Survivor. I mean, we have these little, like, we call them survivor parties every week so people come and watch, but, you know.
Survivor parties. Okay.
Yeah.
He just keeps looking over to Viola for confirmation. Like, are we going with this person?
Viola's doing the like smiling while shaking her head, just like I can't help you. Yeah, let's go. We can use the phone and we can catch up on Survivor until our ride gets here.
Okay, great. Come on. And she starts walking back into the forest.
I'm going
We're
to
not going in the forest, are we? What are we doing?
That's okay. That's Sarah. Sarah and I were in the same grade. As far as I know, she is also, or should be, 35 years old and is living in France with a very hot bicyclist that she met during her master's degree.
Would you have pictures?
I
Okay.
do. If my phone will wake up, then yes, absolutely.
She's really displaced. I feel like her energy is so lost, but I don't like
Her
the
energy?
forest.
Yeah, I feel like
Where did the
we're the
forest
ones
come
who's
from?
displaced right now. Are we like in a wormhole or something? Like, I don't know what's happened.
What kind of mushrooms exactly were in that Kung Pao chicken? Because I'm feeling like maybe they were the wrong ones.
I don't think so. I don't.
I mean, they
I
looked like
usually
shiitake.
feel
I
like
don't know how you can
mushrooms.
mistake shiitake for anything else, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't think we're on mushrooms because usually
Yeah,
I like
Joanne
see
and I-
music.
Right, Joanne and I have had some parties, and it's an entirely different vision experience. This is very.
While this gives me a different set of questions, it is kind of reassuring to know that you can confirm that we're probably not on that kind of trip, I guess.
Precisely. If we have somehow astrally traveled, then we're very, very safe. But I feel like that forest is not a safe place for our astral forms.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you on this one, actually.
Maybe the parking lot. Maybe if we kind of go back to where we left our bodies, we can.
Wait, so if Nelson like kind of try to pinch himself, he's still here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you feel your
I don't
physical
feel-
form.
I don't feel astrally.
Well, generally, if you're in the astral, you're a representation of your best self. So of course you feel solid to yourself.
If I'm just gonna go with this one. So if we're in some sort of astral plane of travel or dimensionality or whatever you want to call it, can't we just choose where to be next?
Generally speaking, yes, but you have to have a really clear vision. And I feel like our panic, like my
There's no
fortune
place like
said
home.
about
There's no
fear.
place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place
No place
like home.
home. There's no place like home.
You are still at the edge of the forest on the opposite side of the
Damn.
street from the Chinese restaurant.
It always
And-
works in movies.
And did you say that this is a spiritual manifestation of our best selves?
Your physical, your person right now is a physical manifestation of your best self.
This is
The
definitely not my
truest
best physical form.
Truest self. I mean, clearly you brought these visions of yourself into this experience.
Can I ask
This
a
is really
clarifying
something that maybe we
question?
should dig into, but not in the forest.
When you said, so is the parking lot replaced by the forest, or is it a separate place?
You have not walked down towards the parking lot.
Okay, so we don't know. Okay.
I feel like we should go near the parking lot, because if the Chinese restaurant was like considered like a foyer to the astral, like that, to ease the transition, then she was one of our guides. And if she guided us to the parking lot, then maybe we'll find answers there.
The hostess?
Yes. As a spiritual guide, she would want the best for us.
That makes sense because you know what? When we got there, she was like, "Let me guide you to your table."
Exactly.
She
And
knew.
she brought us water without us even asking. She really
Mhm.
was our customers.
Nelson, that's like normal restaurant things, right?
I thought it was.
I mean, I
yeah.
haven't been to a restaurant in a long time, but like that's just like a normal restaurant thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they
Okay.
guide you to your table. I didn't know.
You know
Let's go.
what?
Let's go look for the
I'm
parking
getting
lot.
a lot of really agitated energy, and I
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of agitation right now, Tabitha. I
My-
can't
my-
find my car, and my high school best friend is apparently still in high school while I'm not.
All of our phones are dead. This is classic horror movie stuff right here. I'm not feeling it. I feel like if we go into the forest, whatever entity is in there is gonna start picking us off one by one until there's only one of us left, and I can't handle that. I'm not equipped for something like that.
Nah.
Which is why we should go to the parking lot.
Let's find a
Okay.
car and get out of here.
And we should just breathe, because that sort of agitation, who knows what it might attract. They're not the only things in the astral.
So you start walking down the street, and as you're walking, you notice that the brightness really sort of distorts the view of everything. Like it's brighter than normal daylight, and so it's a little bit hazy in front of you. But you get towards where the parking lot should be, and it looks like a parking lot, but it is empty. There are no cars there.
Can I take my keys out and like start pushing the little
Yeah.
lock button to see if I can hear the beep beep? Just
You
Good
push
idea.
it.
I'm gonna do the same thing.
Yes, everyone who has key fobs is pushing their key fobs.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
There is nothing.
You know, sometimes if you put it to your head, it simply goes for it.
Since I'm already like getting more agitated and getting a little bit unrealistic in my thinking, I think Viola's gonna reach in. She's got a little like pouch of like snacks and things that she just carries with her, and find a couple of like tea bags. She just keeps like tea bags with her. She's gonna like kind of shred them open to get the tea leaves out and sort of like throw them into the air like you would with like powder or something to see if it like hits anything invisible in the parking lot.
Oh,
Like
okay.
she's starting to like lose it a little bit and be like, okay, maybe I need to like find my vision quest. Like, what's happening? So
Nightingale's a really good choice.
You scatter
yeah, that's
the
what I've been
tea,
told.
and it almost seems to shimmer as it spreads out further than you think it should, but gently floats down to the ground.
Did anybody else see that? It's
Yes.
tea, but it acted like glitter.
I was watching you really come to terms with your own power. It was beautiful.
I saw the glitters.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, Hachi, man. Does that mean something? I don't. Do I read anything in the tea leaves as they are now
You know what?
scattered across
Go
the
ahead and
ground?
give me another cookie. Let's have another cookie time. Let's see what you see in the tea leaves. And if anyone else wants to try to read the tea leaves, you can give me a cookie.
I'll open a cookie.
You want me to open a cookie for you, Brandon?
If you would
Standing in
be
a
so
circle.
kind.
Sure.
Just
I got
big
plenty over
staring
here.
at the tea leaves.
Aww.
Okay, what'd you get? I heard that sound.
Everyone has someone to love.
Mhm.
So you see in the tea leaves just the sort of general shape of a heart.
Oh, it's a heart. That's so cute.
Mine says, nothing dared, nothing gained.
It's like an arrow pointing to the forest. Like go this way.
You don't see a shape or anything so much as get the feeling that this might take more than tea leaves or key fobs to get you out of here.
Mhm.
Okay. What else have we got?
Mine says your life will be peaceful and fulfilling.
Oh, we love that for us.
Okay,
We love
that's
Yeah.
for you.
Life will
Yeah.
be peaceful and fulfilling. As you stare at these tea leaves, you don't see anything specific in them. You're not the kind of person who reads tea leaves.
No.
But you get a little bit of a sense of calm seeing that they all just land on the ground. You're relieved that there's not some weird invisible thing covered in tea leaves.
It's true.
And I feel like this just continues down the road of Viola's inevitable mental break that we have established as inevitable. You should do well at making money and holding on to it.
So, like everyone else, you saw the tea leaves spread out. They fell onto the ground. You can sort of see what Joanne sees, a vaguely heart-shaped maybe. But you see something shiny in the middle of the tea leaves. And it looks like a coin.
Walk over, reach to start to pick it up, and then stop and see if it is heads up or tails up before I touch it.
Ooh. Let's say that it is heads up.
If it is heads up, then I will pick it up.
All right. And you have been studying medieval all sorts of stuff.
Yes.
Are you familiar with any sort of ancient coins?
I think probably to a degree. My thesis is more in like literature and academic elements of medieval culture, but I think by force of nature would have to know about commerce stuff as well. Okay. So probably knows a lot about just like general European coin minting practices, you know, in a loose sense of those early periods and like things like that. Yeah.
So as you pick this coin up, it almost seems to transform in your hand. And it's not just a quarter. It looks like something you've seen in a textbook. It looks old and ancient, but still shiny.
Okay.
What did you find?
What's the matter?
Well, I thought it was a quarter, so I picked it up like you do, and now it kind of looks vaguely like a Flemish guilder or something. I don't remember what they're called, but they're worth a lot of money now. They're pretty rare. You find them in a...
Maybe this is how you get to go on that nice vacation,
No,
Viola.
you see the thing that she is describing, the ancient coin.
Okay. All right.
This really feels very centered around you. Why do you think you brought us on your vision?
Nope. I'm done. Pick one of them. I'm done. I have gotten the message. I will take a vacation. Thank you. I'm done now. Just like yelling up into the ether.
I think when you threw the tea leaves, I really had this such a strong sense that it's going to take more than this to get us out of here. You brought us all along on this vision, and I think it's going to take all of us to get it out. I don't think we can just tap out and say we're done. I think we're going to have to work through it.
Hey, Nelson.
Yes.
Were you ever a Boy Scout?
I was.
Yes.
Okay, great. 2 Boy Scouts, perfect. Did you either of you ever do the thing where you have to like build like a solar powered generator out of random shit you have in your bag or something? Is that something we could do to try to get the phones powered up and figure out what's going on here?
That was an episode of MacGyver, and it was on TV Land 2 nights ago.
Okay, but did Mythbusters
so
check it and see if it worked?
Right?
No, I was a Boy Scout for like one summer, and let's just say that's why I don't like going outdoors anymore.
Yeah, I took orienteering and 4 computer languages when I was a Boy Scout.
I called my mom to pick me up on the first day of camp and then only did the library summer reading programs for the rest of my school year. So yeah, I'm not really useful in this situation.
Awesome.
Joanne, didn't you like live on the Appalachian Trail with that one person you dated like back in the 80s or something? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
Yep. Joseph. Oh man, he was so handsome. He was so good at starting fires and navigating around mountains, and he sang all this weird music that was like, hi, it was awesome. I loved it. Beautiful harmonies. So yeah, no, I don't. Oh, he died. He fell off the mountain. Yeah, it was
There
very
it is.
sad.
There it is.
Oh,
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was a million years ago. Are you kidding me? No, I was already married by then. So, no, he didn't really teach me much about mountains, which is probably good because, I mean, he fell off.
Given the circumstances, maybe he's not the person you wanted to learn about mountains from. That's fair.
So, okay.
What if, hear me out, what if your quest, what if your vision requires you to follow Sarah?
Where is Sarah?
She's in the forest.
She just.
But she didn't think she was in the forest.
I thought she was in France. So I'm not sure how she's here in the forest 20 years ago.
Yeah.
We're 20 years ago in the forest. We didn't even grow up near a forest. We grew up in the suburbs.
She did invite you to a
Breathe
cool
with
party.
me. Viola, breathe with me. Take a really deep breath. Oh, no, you're hyperventilating. That's not. I don't want to. Yeah, do you like spearmint? And she's gonna like be digging in her bag and pull out like an old lady mint.
Well, we'll take it, like stick it under her tongue, and then just kind of like stare off.
Can I ask if I think Joanne at this point would like look around and try and find familiar landmarks in the town, like other stuff that might be familiar in the area.
So as you're looking, things are still really like hazy. But the parking lot is on the corner. So, Joanne, you actually walk around the corner. And as you do, you see, again, haze in the distance. But you think you see the Chinese restaurant? And
Hang on.
yeah.
Am I turned around here? Hold on. I thought we came from that way, right, everybody?
You turn back around to where everyone is, and the Chinese restaurant is there.
Everybody, look over here. Do you see the same Chinese restaurant down this street, too?
I'm gonna walk up to Joanne and
Do we see the same?
are you okay?
restaurant?
Yes. As you walk up and look down the street, you see it looks like you're looking at you're at the other end of the street. Like the opposite corner from where you are. And
Can we see ourselves at the end of the street?
it's hazy, but you see the shadow of figures.
You know what this reminds me of that scene in Harry Potter and in The Matrix where they were in like this place, and when Neo ran across the street and he came back the other way. Inception, yes.
Inception.
Like
it's folding in on itself, like origami,
like a pocket dimension or something.
Like, like a pocket dimension.
Right.
Harry Potter was in The Matrix?
Is that a cartoon?
No, Harry Potter was in the spirit version of Platform 9 3/4. They were both trains. I don't know. Maybe there's something there, but the point is they couldn't go anywhere else. If that is here and here is there, then we're stuck.
And as you say that, you hear Sarah's voice. Hey, Viola, where are you? Oh, there you are. Come on. I'm waiting for you. Come on. And she's calling you from the forest, the edge of the forest again.
Yeah, of course she is. Yeah, I'll be there in 1 second. I just wanted to make sure I didn't leave my books over here.
Oh, yeah, you definitely want to bring your books with you. Come on.
Okay. I think we have to
do this, but we shouldn't get too far away from each other.
Oh, yeah, no. The first person who splits off is the first person who dies. That's like horror movie 101.
Exactly. Right.
And we stick together.
I feel like if it's in your mind, it's going to happen. This is your quest.
I don't think it's my quest. I don't have a quest. I have a dissertation that needs 20 more chapters before publication.
All right, let's just go. I think we got to get out of here. I mean, there's nothing here. Let's just get
She said there was wine. Oh, no, you have wine.
Well, I did, but now
Sarah's
I don't have
parents
anything.
always had wine. I'm sure we can probably.
I feel like wine is the last thing we need right now. We already might be on mushrooms.
Yeah, I could maybe use like a Xanax or something.
Yeah.
I might have a Xanax. Hold on, let's get in the forest. Okay, another question. Is it like January? Like, what's the weather? Is it like really snowy? Is it cold?
It's really neutral.
Okay.
Like, it is a spring-ish sort of day. I'm trying to think of where everyone is and what to compare it to. It's like late spring, early summer in New England, which would be sort of winter in Georgia, all year round in California.
I was to say any random Tuesday in California
Yeah.
because we don't have seasons or weather. We just have incidents.
Yeah. It is an incident-free day in California.
Great.
Okay.
Just kind of neutral-ish weather, 60s, 70s. You know, comfortable to be outside without a jacket. You don't need a jacket, but you don't need to be in a tank top, sort of. Just
So
very
it's April 24th.
yes.
Perfect date.
There you
Yes.
go. The perfect
Shout
day.
out to
Yes.
Rhode Island.
Hey.
I would like to, as I'm looking around and seeing this very neutral stuff, I would like to focus, take a deep breath, and attempt to change the weather with my brain.
Okay. So you are attempting to change the weather with your brain.
I am.
This is going to be interesting.
I will tell you that you do not change the weather, but grab a fortune cookie and let's see if something else happens.
Okay.
I've got some thoughts, but let's see what the cookie tells us.
Cookie time. Cookie time.
Time.
Kind of empty. Only cookies.
Me all the time.
What the numbers know. How dark is dark? How wise is wise?
Okay. As you
Your cookies are like
concentrate-
on some other shit.
Right?
I like yours. They're
I'm glad we got such a weird variety of brands.
Yeah.
It's really spicing things up.
So as you are sitting there, breathing deep, trying to concentrate on changing the weather, two things happen. The rest of you notice that the intense brightness comes down a little. It's not like taking it to normal levels of light, but it doesn't hurt your eyes the same way. Tabitha, you also feel a slight heat in your pocket.
Reach in my pocket. There's only one thing in my pocket.
That would be your pentacle.
Yes, the pewter pentacle.
And it feels warm. Like oddly
Right.
warm. Not just body heat warm, but a little warmer.
This is definitely a magical place.
And you hear Sarah call again. Come on, I'm waiting.
Yeah, sorry, we're coming.
Very impatient.
She's 17, and Survivor starts in like 30 minutes, and we hate missing the beginning. Or at least we did back then. Or do currently, or I'm not sure anymore.
Okay.
Let's just go.
Do you want another mint? Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay. If this is Viola's vision quest, then I don't really think we have any other option unless we want to get some more Chinese food.
I mean, I am kind of hungry again. It's Chinese food.
No, that was sarcasm. I don't think Chinese food is what got us here. Got us in this mess in the first place.
Yeah, I don't think I really want to eat anything that I didn't come off of my own person, until I know why we're here. Or where
Okay.
he is.
Well, let's go.
Forest though.
I feel like this is an answer that you have.
This
and
is
it will
how
be revealed to
people
you.
die. This is how people die.
Oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. This is no, okay, because when I was in the Appalachians with Hans, did I say his name was Hans? I forget now. Somebody was Hans. He always said you have to just go forward through the trees, even if you don't want to all the time.
But he was the one that fell off the mountain.
No, that was Joseph.
Oh,
Yes, Hans was his brother. I
Did
think
Hans
he's- I think he-
survive?
You know what? I don't know.
Okay, great.
You don't. Okay.
So as the group starts to cross the road to the forest, we are going to take a brief break.
Yeah.
So we will see you guys
Fair enough.
back in about 10 minutes or so. Hang tight and let's see what happens in the forest.
Wait.
Oh boy.
And welcome back. I hope you all enjoyed your brief break. We are returning with Meme of the Month. The system we're using tonight is Fortune's Fools, and we are using fortune cookies instead of dice or other means to determine what happens to these poor fools. When we left off, these lovely folks were just about to head into the forest, following Viola's high school friend, Sarah, who still looked like her high school friend, Sarah. So, what are we doing, friends?
I think at this point, Viola probably just kind of like grabs, like, you know, Nelson kind of by the shoulder of his jacket or something. It's just like, let's just stick together. We'll just stick together and we'll just go into the, we'll just go and we'll just get, maybe we'll get to the other side of the forest and there will be, I don't know, an IHOP that returns us back to our mortal realm or something. Whatever's going on here.
You're so creative.
Yeah, all
Far
right.
away is the forest.
The forest is on the other side of the street.
Just, watch out for like poison ivy and ticks and
Should
you
we,
know, creatures.
should we stuff the bottom of our pants into our socks first?
That's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
I'm not sure if the ticks in the astral.
They might be astral ticks. What if they like suck your chi or something? I don't know how this works.
If the ticks are the best versions of themselves, they're probably very good at bloodsucking.
Or they've
Which is
evolved
bad
to
for
where
us.
they don't need it.
Okay, let's go.
They're the
Let's just
best
go as
versions.
fast as we can and give them as little time as possible to figure out that we're there.
Like astral poison ivy is so much worse than regular poison ivy.
Oh no.
Tabitha is probably gonna be going slower. She is not fast. She is.
I don't.
She lamps. This is just normal. This is-
Well, I don't know that like Viola is going particularly fast. I think she's just going particularly agitated. So.
Right.
Okay. So, Sarah is waiting for you across the street, and as she sees you, finally listening to her and coming across, she turns around and starts going through the forest. And it takes just a few steps for her to be almost covered by trees.
Oh god.
But she's not going too fast. You can still watch her, and even if you are keeping pace with Tabitha, you're able to still see enough of her to follow her through the forest.
Okay.
I'm gonna put my hand on a branch, or like against the tree trunk to kind of like help myself balance. Do they feel any different than normal trees? Do they?
Nope, it feels like a tree.
Are there any good sticks on the ground that we could use as like sticks to like help us walk in
You
the
know what?
forest?
It's a forest. I'm sure you can find a good stick.
All right, well, I'm definitely getting a stick. Who else wants a stick?
I will obtain a stick.
Yes.
All right, so Tabitha and Joanne have sticks, good sticks, quality sticks.
Already walking sticks.
This is a quality stick right here. I learned all about sticks from Hans.
What
Hope
makes,
it
what
was-
makes it what makes it quality?
It's very even. It's the right height. It's sharp on the end, so you can stab things if you need. And
And so sturdy.
has a good friendly vibe.
Hey, Sarah, I don't remember taking the shortcut to your house before. Is this new?
It's always been here. And her voice sounds a little bit weird.
Okay, but then why did we never use this one before?
You know, we just sometimes don't. Come on, keep up. Keep up.
Okay, we're keeping up as best as we can. Don't get too far ahead. Sometimes Tabitha has to stop and assess the vibes.
Terrain.
There we go. That one.
Terrain vibes, same thing.
As you say that,
I would like to assess the terrain vibe.
Yeah.
well,
Rave.
Strangely enough, it's almost as if the trees seem to open up a little bit. And now, instead of just weaving through the trees, Sarah's leading you down a path. A small path, but a path nonetheless. And the very center of the path is remarkably flat and even, so that Tabitha has no difficulty navigating it.
Now, this, I believe, did happen when we did mushrooms.
It did, but it was blue.
You're right.
This comes up in a lot of the literature. There's the forest, and then there's the path through the forest, and then there's usually like a fork in the road, and then there's some sort of convoluted metaphor for why the Protestants shouldn't have left the Catholic Church.
Well, I feel like this is maybe a manifestation of you accepting the call.
Of what?
Well, of Sarah right now, but what does Sarah represent?
Sarah hasn't
to you?
called me in 10 years. She's got a hot French boyfriend. Why would we talk?
Maybe he has a friend.
Maybe she...
Did my parents hire you for this? Is this an intervention? Looks at
No.
Nelson. Do you even know my parents?
Have you read her dissertation yet?
Hold up, Sarah, we're coming. Just keep going. Horrified at the thought that maybe this is a setup.
Well, if this is a setup, I don't know why they would include me into it, because I don't know your parents.
Okay, good. I was really worried for a second. They're nice people. They're just very concerned about how long I've been teaching.
Sorry.
I feel like Nelson represents for you the ability to fix things, to really... that you don't have to stay as you are, that you can change, that you can improve.
I'm perfectly cool with who I am. Like, my life is on track. The dissertation's slow, but I knew that getting into a PhD program. Like, that's normal.
As you
These sorts of transitions, especially in the astral, have so many layers of meaning.
finish this
I
bit of
think you should
conversation,
lead on. We're here for you.
Okay.
Viola, you suddenly realize that you can't see Sarah anymore, but you still see the path.
Okay, well, we lost our guide, so I guess we just have to follow the path.
Wait, Sarah?
You hear nothing.
Sarah?
Sarah?
Okay.
Sarah?
I'm gonna look back.
The path seems to be far less clear going back than it was going forward.
Mm.
I guess Hans was right.
Okay. All right. Sure. How dense could the forest be? And Nelson will keep walking because he hates being in the
Yep.
in the wild.
I think I need a cookie from Nelson.
Oh crap!
It's coming. I got you.
All right.
Alex is all like, do you have allergies? Do you need a Claritin?
No,
Because
I
you
don't-
do have it.
I had a really bad run-in with some poison ivy back when I was a Boy Scout, and it was enough to, like, plants attacked me, and that was pretty much all I needed to know about.
That sounds very traumatizing.
It was. I was 6.
But if you notice in these forests, there's not a lot of undergrowth. And
there's
poison ivy is in the
not.
undergrowth.
There's not much undergrowth at all, at least nowhere near the path that you're on. But when you look back, there seems to be more.
Okay. So my cookie says, an admirer finds you charming.
Okay.
Sarah's got the hots for it.
Sarah is 17.
Sarah
So there's 20 somethings.
Oh, okay. Nelson, do you have any coworkers or classmates that might have been sending you signals that Nelson probably missed?
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, if so, then yeah, Nelson definitely. Yeah, uh, yeah. I guess there would probably be like another like nerdy bookish chick that like probably has the hots for Nelson, and he just has absolutely no clue. Um, uh we'll call her Brenda.
Brenda. Okay.
Yes.
So as poor Viola is having her breakdown continue, Nelson has sort of taken the lead because really he wants to get out of this forest as quickly as possible. And your guide Sarah had disappeared. But out in front of you, into the middle of the path, steps a young woman. And Nelson, you recognize her from your classes and from the various online places that you both frequent. And she gives you a shy smile. Hi, Nelson.
Oh crap.
I'm sorry.
No, sorry. Hi, Brenda. No. Why are you in the forest?
Oh,
You're supposed to say.
Are you
hello
real?
first.
of course I'm real. What kind of a question is that?
It's been a weird day.
I heard that you were having some trouble, and I think I'm here to help.
Heard from who?
I don't know. I've got a bit of a headache. I'm not sure.
Did you eat any Chinese food today?
I didn't.
Okay.
I actually don't remember if I've eaten it all today.
That could explain the headache, but also it means she's on different drugs than we are.
Yeah,
You know-
you should eat something.
I've got some fruit snacks.
Nelson, would you like to go for dinner with me?
Oh, okay.
I mean we just ate. Maybe later.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, let
Riley,
me.
do you know Brenda?
Yeah, no, yeah. Brenda, she's we had some classes together, and you know, she's a friend.
Why don't you invite Brenda to the party, Nelson?
Oh,
to
is
the
there a
par-
party?
I bet she likes Survivor.
Do you like
Survivor-
the
Is in the woods.
Is that still on? That's been a
Actually,
hot minute.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Why? I didn't know either until today.
Oh, all right. I mean,
Yeah,
if Nelson would like me to come.
sure.
Okay, that was really convincing. How about why don't you just follow me? And she turns around and starts walking down the path.
Okay. Hey, did you see another girl here named Sarah by chance?
Sarah. Oh, you're looking for Sarah.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Sarah is Viola's friend. We were following her, and she's the one throwing the party.
Oh, so you're going to Sarah's party? Okay.
We're going to use Sarah's phone
Oh, okay.
because we think our car got towed.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to, do you have a phone we could use? Because I'd much rather use your phone because I feel far less personally conflicted about that.
She pats her pockets. No, I think it's in my bag, which
Where's your
Is-
bag? We could go there.
I don't know.
Did you fall asleep
I
before you were suddenly here?
don't remember. And she turns around and starts moving quickly down the path.
I run after her.
Okay.
I will limp to get you.
After a moment, she stops, and Nelson, you don't stop as quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And you run into her, except she's not there. You pass through her, and then she's gone. There's no sign of her.
What the hell? Did you
That
guys
was
see that?
amazing.
Oh God, we're
I asked her if she was real, and she said she was real. She's a,
Okay.
Brenda?
Okay. Are
Brenda?
we dead, or are they dead, or are maybe? Okay.
I don't
Okay.
feel
Is this a
death
dream?
here.
Feel is this
I
what
really don't-
happened to you that time that boy from Tinder ghosted you? Is that what you meant? That he did that?
No, Aunt Joanne. He just stopped answering my texts.
Okay.
And technically, I think I ghosted him first, but we can get into the nitty gritty of that later.
I don't know if I care for this. I don't know if I care
me
for this.
neither. Brenda's not a ghost. I saw her yesterday.
Sarah's also not a teenager, as far as I'm aware, but there
Oh
she
my
was.
God. Okay, maybe okay. Maybe this is a spiritual shared awakening experience or
And
something.
it can be beautiful if we're just persisting.
I don't. Ayahuasca is still illegal in the United States, right? There's no way this is like that sort of thing.
I don't
Okay.
know, but I just ran through someone.
Yep.
So I think that anything's really on the table at this point. Can we get out of the forest, please? I'm kind of starting to freak out a little bit. And when I freak out, I sweat like a lot. Like it's
Ooh.
really not, you're not gonna want to, it's not pretty. Like he starts like
I have deodorant in my bag. I do.
Do you? Okay.
I do.
Yeah, because the longer we're out here, the more I'm gonna need it. And
Let's just keep walking. We still have a path. Let's
You do.
just keep following the path until it goes away or splits, and at that point we can decide how screwed over we are.
okay.
And
that seems
Joanne,
fine.
it is cookie time for you.
Oh my god. Okay. I shit you not. It says,
Uh-oh.
each day, compel yourself to do something you would rather not do.
Okay. What would Joanne rather not do right now?
Joanne would definitely rather not continue. It is very freaked out, but
Okay.
yeah.
Joanne hears a voice. A vaguely familiar voice. And the rest of you hear it as well. It's sort of echoey and surrounds you. And it says, "You gotta keep going, kid." And it sounds a lot like Joseph.
Joseph, where are you?
Joseph.
I'm
Joseph
watching over
was
you.
dead.
But you gotta keep going, kid.
Wait,
You
Joseph
can't
has
be
got it.
afraid of the
Oh.
edge of the mountain.
Okay, but is it a mountain edge up ahead though?
No mountains around here. Just some trees.
Okay, because you've said that before.
Yeah, but there's no mountain here. Do you feel like you're going up? You're fine.
No, that's true. All right, we will continue on, Joseph. I hope you're well wherever you are at the bottom of a mountain or in heaven or something.
Thanks, babe.
Oh, babe, okay, you're making me blush. All right.
Viola turns to Tabitha. She's like, I thought you just said nobody was dead. I thought you said nobody was dead here. What the? He's dead. We know he's dead. Just like fully starting to lose it at this point.
I really feel like all of this agitation is just drawing things to us. And
You want me to
I'm
stop being
okay
agitated?
with
You want me to
this.
stop being agitated?
I
Give me
do.
some prescription drugs or something. Do you have Zoloft or anything, Xanax, anything at all? Meth. I don't
have-
care at this point.
I have a muscle relaxer.
Meth is more of an upper probably make things worse.
That's a
Yeah, I
good
wouldn't
point. Maybe not
recommend
meth. Maybe not the
Mm.
meth.
So basically, you're saying we just have to what? Think happy thoughts?
I'm not
If that is
it's not so much happy as it is productive. What can we learn from this experience as we go forward?
I
Never
will
get
say-
that Chinese restaurant again.
That one. That one.
that one. I will say, Joseph never gave me bad advice. He only walked off the mountain after I left. But while I was there, he gave me quite a lot of good advice, such as, don't go over there, and
Careful, that one bites. I remember you telling me.
yes, and it did. It did bite, but it didn't bite me.
Okay, so keep going actually sounds like sound advice because we're still in the forest and I'm starting to hear things.
I would love to not be in the forest anymore.
I think
Okay.
the only way out is through the forest and for this experience that we're all sharing.
Yeah.
You sound so
Do
much
it.
like your cookies. I love it.
You know, that's such an obvious the only way out is through. Like if once you're in it, you have to go through it. You can't get
Yeah, what is the alternative way out? I don't.
To
I
just-
never understood this.
To stay.
There
Just
isn't
stay
one, and
lost.
that's why it
lost in
says
their forest.
it says the only way. If there was another way, it wouldn't be the only way.
Well, the only way out is through, but there's another choice. We all make choices every day.
Hey,
and sometimes we
Nelson?
choose to stay.
yeah.
Race you to the end of the path.
Okay.
All right, well, stay. Don't go too far. We'll be right there.
Well, and it turns out that you can't go too far because up ahead, there's a fork in the path.
I knew it! This always happens. Dante was right!
So what I need is a cookie time from everyone. And then we're going to talk about your fortunes and decide whether you're going to go left or right.
Oh my god.
Oh
Oh no.
Oh dear.
God, okay. Let me send Nelson his real quick.
Oh, I'm so excited about it. After all these faces, I cannot wait to hear what everyone's fortune is. So, since it's a group one, we're going to go across the screen, but we're going to go in reverse order. So, Tanya, what is Tabitha's fortune?
Tabitha's fortune says, alas, the onion you are eating is someone else's water lily.
I want your fortune cookies! The onion you are eating is someone else's water lily.
Yes. Alas,
Alas.
the onion you are eating.
Oh, okay. Megan, what is Joanne's?
Joanne's is catch on fire with enthusiasm, and people will come for miles to watch you burn.
Wow.
Did you get your
Holy!
Some
Wow.
of them were about falling in love and like persevering, and this one is about like self-immolation. I don't know.
Okay.
Something for everyone.
All right.
Whatever you're
Brandon, what is Nelson's?
Well, I think this goes hand in hand with this last one. A zesty partner can help you in your efforts to get ahead.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's a good one for in bed. Yeah.
In bed, yeah.
That is all I could think of when I saw it.
And
They know. They know what they were doing.
Alondra, what does Viola have?
I finally just got a nice normal one. You have a deep interest in all that is artistic.
Aw.
Okay.
Kind of a downer after that round, but you know what? I'll take it. I've already given my character an anxiety attack, so.
So we have a path to the left and a path to the right. Let's say that the path to the left has a bit of a whitish glow in the distance, and the path to the left has a bit of a reddish glow. So, based on those fortunes, which way do you feel the group's going to go? Right with the white light, left with the red light.
Now, see, heaven and hell immediately come into my mind. Yeah, like the white light and the red light. Um,
But
hmm,
onions are white.
onions are white, and
Fire
But
is
fire
red,
is red.
usually.
red seems like more of a zesty color though,
Hmm.
as far as like a zesty partner could help you in your efforts to get ahead.
My feeling on, at least with regard to mine, is that like it was like if you catch on fire, people will come to watch you burn, and we could use some people coming to us to help. So maybe we do want to be on fire.
Well, maybe don't set yourself on fire. I feel like even in the astral, that's not really.
Yeah, it could be a metaphor.
Since I have this-
Enthusiasm. It was fire with enthusiasm. So wherever we go, we have to be enthusiastic about it.
Okay.
And because I had this one about like artistic intentions or whatever, interest in all that is artistic, I my brain immediately went to do I have any sense of north, south, east, and west? And does this look like it could be a dawn and a sunset? Because that would be a very Dante, like sort of how you choose the path that forks in the dark forest.
Oh.
I'm not super helpful for this one, so Viola's just gonna follow whatever the group does at this point because she's just screaming like into the sky and trying to like climb a tree that's directly at the fork so that she doesn't have to pick.
Great.
She's losing her mind a little bit.
Well, Red is a play about Rothko, which is an artist, and you
Yeah.
like art, so.
There we go, and the play Art by Yasmina Reza is about an all-white painting. So
Oh yeah,
Oh.
that's true.
Well, it sounds like
Damn it, dramaturgy.
Tabitha, which way do you think we should go? You seem to be in tune with the spirit
something.
stuff. Something.
I feel like Tabitha was so sure that this was like a transformative experience for Viola, and she was actually feeling kind of maybe a little jealous. Like she hasn't had anybody appear to her. She hasn't had any of those sort of experiences, so that's what she feels like. She got the onion, and
oh.
which is actually, and it's about letting someone else run the show. I think is what
Okay.
like, hey, you've been focusing on your onion, but it's time to pay attention to
The water lily.
to the water lilies, which is a famous painting. So we'll just go
Sure.
where the artistic one goes.
Okay. So is that left towards the red? Or right towards the white?
I vote for the alliteration. Or the assonance, right toward the white.
Okay.
Right towards the white. Okay.
Okay. So, you head down the right fork, where there's sort of a whitish glow. Things seem fine. The path is open ahead of you as it had been. It's flat. It's unusual, but you're rolling with it. And Tabitha, can you give me another cookie time, please?
You sure you want another cookie?
It's going to be an interesting one to figure out. It's fine.
A short pencil is usually better than a long memory any day.
A short pencil is better than a long memory any day.
That just means you should be writing this down because you're never going to remember.
Well,
God damn it, it is about my dissertation.
and tools are useful. Tools are quite useful. And you feel that heat in your pocket again.
Okay.
And you pull out the thing that used to be a pendant. It still has the little the little circle bit on the top where it would have attached to a chain.
Mm-hmm.
And as you hold it in your hand, you feel a sense of comfort. And that little knob, the little round bit on top, you watch as it shifts around in your hand, and the whole pendant is making a little circle.
Is it acting like a compass?
Almost. And it ends up pointing at Viola.
I'm gonna put it a little closer to her.
It still
And
points
gauge, like, the temperature
towards her.
and stuff.
It gets warmer. Do you have, Tabitha, a dearly departed person in your life? Someone that you were close to, that you feel a connection with even now?
I think Tabitha had a younger sister who she died in childhood, and she's always kind of felt that presence.
Okay.
It's kind of what keeps her youthful.
As you are looking at the pendant in your hand and then over at Viola, the air above your hand seems to shimmer. And it's almost as if something is coming out of your pendant. And the shimmer,
It's a normal thing.
this shimmer turns into a slight mist. And the mist coalesces into a familiar form. The form of a young girl who stands behind Viola and follows her as she walks, and reaches up and tugs at her backpack. Her satchel. What is she carrying?
She's got like a shoulder bag,
cross
satchel,
bag.
but yeah.
She tugs at one of the straps of the bag, and then looks back at you, Tabitha, and smiles, and seems to disapparate until the air over your pendant shimmers again and becomes warm in your hand once more.
Viola, what's in your bag?
Huh? Just just my stuff from school. Like,
Very strong signals that the answer is in your bag.
did I shove a map in here that I didn't remember? I'll unclip the bag and flip it open and kind of pop in. She's mostly just like starts kind of pulling out like just handfuls of like small to try. Like there's like a handful of like little packets of gummies or something, and the loose tea bags that got scattered when she grabbed those earlier. And she kind of fishes around and gets stuff. And anybody who's standing here can see like the bulk of the bag is taken up with her laptop and a couple of like hardcover books that are slid in.
Everyone give me a cookie time as you are observing the things in Viola's bag. And we're going to see who sees something in there.
Alondra, I hope you don't run out of cookies. I know you're like...
Oh, no, I'm good.
I almost bought another bag on Amazon, but it has like 100 cookies in it. And I don't know that I need 100 fortune cookies. I don't know that I could go through them.
I think this will work out perfectly because I will just go through this bag tonight and then I won't have a bunch sitting around that I have to worry about later. Not till next time we play. Oh, God. Okay.
All right. So we are going to go same order as last time so that Alondra's got time to get Brandon his. So, Tanya, what is yours?
After readying the every emotion, there is understanding entering the realm.
Oh, okay. That's promising. Megan.
doors will be opening for you in many areas of your life.
Oh, okay, okay. Brandon?
Invest, but never speculate.
Okay. A little less applicable to what I'm thinking, but that's okay. And
Some nice financial advice, yeah.
Yeah, right.
it's not bad.
Doesn't hurt, yeah.
Alondra.
Look for happiness and you will find it.
Okay.
She's gonna find the Xanax in the bag.
So I think that Tabitha and
The
Joanne,
bag is the portal.
The bag is the Xanax.
There is no Xanax.
as you are looking, as Viola has her bag open and she's moving things around, Joanne and Tabitha both sort of spot the book. And there are a couple of hardcover books in there that are clearly part of her dissertation and research and whatnot like that. But one of them there's something about it that is just not quite right. It almost feels like it's got a glow to it. It's not a big book. It's a small one. Not quite a standard paperback size. It's a little bit more square than that. But it's hardcover. It's bound in a deep red leather. And it's got sort of scraped off gold writing. But it's scraped off so much that you can't read what the spine says. But you can see the flecks of the gold leaf. But you both notice that book and
There's that one.
the feeling around it.
Yes, Val will just like reach and pull out the book and kind of just hand it to you. Because again, she's just like kind of fishing around. It's one of those things where like everything has just gotten thrown in the bag, so she's sifting through looking for anything out of the ordinary.
Do
She'll
any
hand
of
you the
you
book.
speak foreign languages?
In real life or like the characters?
The characters.
Yeah, I feel like Nelson probably speaks. He probably knows like French or something.
Okay.
And I bet he speaks like Klingon.
I love it.
Well, then Nelson's gonna be super impressed because Tabitha speaks fluent Elvish.
Amazing.
I think Joanne speaks German for some
Spoken
reason.
Elvish.
Okay.
I think Viola probably knows a little bit of French, a little bit of German, a little bit of maybe some other European languages, and is incredibly fluent in Old and Middle English and Latin
Okay.
because of her dissertation.
So as you open this book, it's not a language that any of you specifically recognize. It has some of the fluid look of Tolkien Elvish. But it has some of the patterns of Old English. In terms of the repetition of letters. And it just feels strange. None of you are able to read it.
Viola, where did you get this one?
Val's gonna pull out the other book and look at it, and basically she's confirming that the other book is what she thinks it is, which I presume it probably is. It's some very like stodgy text on like, you know, convents in the Middle Ages or something, something
Sure,
very academic that was published in the 70s or whatever. So confirms that one is the correct one, and then looks and is like, it should have been some book of one of the English mystics and visions and things that she used to have. That's why I thought maybe we were all having some sort of something. It's another chapter in my dissertation, but that doesn't look familiar. I don't normally check out books I can't read unless I know somebody who's translating it for me. But even then, I usually just do that on the internet. It's much faster.
Do you
Easier to
remember
pay
checking
people.
this book out?
You
My
recognize
office is
the
half
cover.
books. And does it look like the cover of the book that I would think it is?
Yes, because most of the writing had been worn off. So you had to
Okay.
open it to see the title. But the
Yeah, if
outside
I-
of the book looks the same.
If I flip to like where the title page would be, does the title page match?
The general shape of the writing, like in terms of layout, is similar,
Okay.
but it's still
But
the
the
strange
language
language
is
that you do
not.
not
Okay.
recognize.
This happens to me in dreams sometimes, where I recognize the shape of things but not the specifics.
Or you try to turn on the light switch, but the lights are already on? I've had that one happen.
Maybe the next spirit guide that we see will help us translate it.
Why were you asking me about what was in my bag?
Because I had a vision,
A vision inside the vision.
maybe? It was my younger sister, who passed when we were children. But I saw her, and she was tugging on your bag. But you didn't look like you felt it.
Okay, so your deceased younger sister and your dead ex-boyfriend are trying to help us by going down this path and looking at books in my bag after my high school best friend and his classmate
Wait,
led
does
us
that,
down the path. What?
mean does that mean that Sarah and Brenda are dead too?
Is this what they meant when they said don't go into that white light? Because I still got a lot of good years in
Oh,
me.
that's a good point. You're not supposed to go into the light. Okay. But I don't want to go to the red light either. That
Yeah, no,
doesn't
the red light is probably worse.
I mean, I look like red light district fine. Red light in the
Yeah.
forest bad.
Yeah. Nelson will look back the way we came. Does it look all like closed
Yeah,
off?
it started closing in behind you.
Okay, great. Well, maybe we chose wrong.
Well, we don't have a choice now, do we?
Nope. Only way out is through. Let's march
There's
forward.
understanding entering the realm. Maybe we
The
do.
afterlife realm.
Which realm? Which realm are we in exactly at this point? That's a very vague term, realm.
Is this
And I
purgatory?
don't think we have diplomatic immunity anywhere other than the United
I
States.
think the book knows. If only we had the ability to read it.
Vale's gonna pick up the book, and do the thing where she just like flips it open to a random page, like holding it out in front of her, points, not looking at it yet, and just goes, "Hey, book, how do we get out of the spooky forest?" And then looks at where she pointed, like
Give me a
when you
cookie
do like
time.
book divination.
Oh my god.
Bookie time, cookie time.
Cookie time.
Cookie, yay.
I'm really mad because what you described the book as, wut even knowing this, I used to have a book that almost fits that exact description
Oh,
sitting
man.
right there. I was gonna just grab it and be
I
like,
used to have
"Props!"
that
But it's behind a bunch of D&D crap, and I can't dig it out. Business and health matters will improve around you.
Okay.
So not death. That's good.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll finally get my Xanax.
Business and
I'll stop limping. Nelson's financial investments will go great.
Guys, I don't know how to get out of the forest, but Toyota stock's up like 4 points, y'all.
So
But does getting it from a book count as speculating? I don't know.
Ooh.
So you've opened the book and pointed, and you look down, and you've opened to a 2-page spread of a drawing, and it looks, as you look a little bit closer, it looks like it is hand drawn. It doesn't look like it is printed. So you're looking at it, and the scene is a forest. And on the left-hand side of the page, the forest looks dark and scary with dying trees. But as you move towards the right side of the forest, right side of the page, where your finger is touching, it looks more vibrant and brighter. And it looks like there's been some watercolor painting on this. And there are pops of green and pinks and yellows, and the forest seems more alive. And in the center of a tree, there is a white glow with a humanoid figure hovering above the ground, a sort of whitish blue color. You can't make out any features. You can't make out any specifics, but it is a figure. And as you're looking at it, the page almost seems to glow around them.
Keeping my finger in place and everything, I'm just going to kind of tilt the book up to where I can kind of show everybody else. Just be like, the book says we're going the right direction.
All right.
That's fantastic.
Okay, that's the closest thing to a map we've had since we got here.
Yup! I guess we're just going to go with this. Okay.
Follow this book that none of us can read.
Yep. Nope. I am going to owe so much money to the library.
It's worth $1,000.
Does somebody have a gum wrapper that I can use as a bookmark?
You know,
just-
entire gift card.
That'll work.
There we go.
Just gonna sort of stick it in the book to mark that page. Slide the book. I don't think slide the book fully back. I think just kind of tuck it under my arm and continue down the path.
As you're doing that, you look at the book and you realize it doesn't have the library sticker on the bottom. You know how they all have the Dewey Decimal
Yeah.
thing. This one is not. It's not there.
God damn it! Somebody at that weird Chinese food restaurant put us on a drug trip and stole one of my books. Okay. Fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're going the book says we're going the right way, guys. The book says it's fine. The book says it's fine. Let's just follow the book.
Just gonna breathe.
Okay. So we can tell how poor Viola is feeling. How are the rest of you feeling right now?
Stressed.
Yeah, I don't think Joanne's having a great time. I think that she's not one to complain, but she's a little bit scared.
I feel like Tabitha, it's just renewed. Like, yes, here's the sign. This is what the quest has all been for. Like,
She's feeling it. Okay.
she's in full weirdo phase.
Okay. So you continue down the path just a little while longer, not too much. And the glow is getting a little bit stronger. And you notice that all around you, the trees are looking better. The forest that had started looking kind of scary and creepy to you is looking much healthier. It's looking more friendly.
These are
Well, this is nice. Happy trees, yeah.
happy trees.
Are there happy clouds in the sky?
You cannot see the sky, but there
Happy
probably
sky.
would be.
This is how you going towards art.
Yeah. If we're in a Bob Ross painting now. Have happy little trees and happy little clouds.
You know, I'd rather Bob Ross than like Goya, so I'm fine with this.
Like Joanne would be excited to be in like the Garden of Earthly Delights.
Yeah. Bob Ross, fine. Do we want to go Hieronymus Bosch? Because that could get weird.
Yeah.
And Joanne, I would like a cookie time from you, please.
Okay. Enjoy what you have, hope for what you lack.
What sort of things is Joanne hoping for right now?
Joanne is hoping that we can get out of this forest soon and go to a fun party. She could
Okay.
really use a glass of wine after this, maybe some cake.
Okay. it doesn't take too long before that white glow is getting to be overwhelming. You stop being able to notice the forest around you. You step forward, and suddenly the path that had been leading you, and it looked like it was going to keep going, it's not there anymore. Instead, it's opened up into a clearing of sorts. And in front of you, there's just this white glow, very much like in the illustration of the book. What do you do?
Is it Edward? Is it in the bright sunlight?
A white glow.
Viola? This is your blood.
Oh my god, this is not my problem! Flips open the book to the marked page, and like holds up the book to like compare like the illustration to the glow, and then just looks and just like holds it up to the glow, and it's just like, "Hello, is this you? Must we answer your riddles 3 to pass into the nether realms? What's the next step?" She's like fully cracked at this point.
As you are holding the book up to this glow, you see a figure materializing in the center of it. A humanoid figure, very much like the illustration. And you hear this voice. It echoes through the trees, but it's soft. But it seems to fill you all. You feel it more than you hear it.
Oh boy.
I'm not prepared for emotions.
Viola, where do you teach? What is the name of the place?
As is tradition, I teach at State Name University.
Meme Town University.
Yeah, Meme Town. Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
Found you.
yeah,
All right.
Meme Town University.
Excellent. You
Meme merch.
you feel this voice that says, Viola of Meme Town, you have brought me that which is mine.
The book.
Yes, the book.
Cool. You don't happen to know where my copy of the Lays of Marie went, did you? Because the library's gonna want that back in like 4 weeks. You know what? Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Provided.
Okay, great. This is yours. You here you go.
Do you happen to know a way out of this forest?
Yes. In gratitude
Ooh.
for you returning that which is mine, I will grant you each that which you most desire.
Okay,
Everyone
sounds
needs
like a
to,
fair deal to me.
Yeah, all right. Okay, yeah.
Okay, sure.
We're going to complicate it a little because you think you know what you want. But you know what knows what you want? The cookie knows what
The
you want.
cookies, yeah.
So let's each of you can open a cookie, and based on your fortune, tell me what it is that you most desire.
Okay.
What is your true deepest
Your
desire?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I
Megan's
think I
faces.
have goals.
I don't know.
I was literally about to be like, is this a trick where we all just like have to use this to get out of the forest because otherwise we're stuck here forever?
Right, yeah.
Like, what's the catch?
Like what we truly desire at this moment.
Okay.
Oh my god. Okay.
So I'm going to give everyone just a moment to read and reflect, because this is not just a read and I decide. You're going to get to decide what you most desire based on this fortune. But as you are thinking about it, the light gets so bright that you all have to close your eyes. And you feel this heat, but it's not an unpleasant heat. It's calming and relaxing. And those of you who have been freaking the fuck out suddenly feel as if your Zoloft has kicked in and you can breathe. The sweat stops pouring off your body, Nelson, and you feel relaxed at one. Alondra, what is your fortune?
In a delightful piece of irony, the fortune that I drew was Starlight, Starbright, your wish will come true tonight.
Wow.
Oh,
Did you wish for more wishes?
No, that's the first rule. You don't
illegal.
wish for more. No. I think Viola's impulse. Do you want to do this now, or you want to go through everyone's first?
yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I think the first impulse, kind of as I, the player, joked, is like, oh god, do I have to just use my wish to get out of this goddamn forest? Because that's the immediate. But I think that underlying, especially with all the stress and anxiety and everything that just happened, I think there is this undercurrent that flows through Viola of this is why I wish people would stop asking when I'm gonna I'm fine. It's when all of this extra stuff happens that weird shit goes down and I have to go get dinner and try to explain everything. It's all fine. I wish people just knew that I was fine as I am.
Okay.
And so I think that's kind of that's maybe not a specific wish, but that's sort of her undercurrent of
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Brandon, what is Nelson's fortune and what is his desire?
His fortune is a mysterious person will soon enter your life. And so yeah, I'm kind of sensing a theme because I can see all of the fortunes, right?
Mhm.
And so I think that deep down, I think that Nelson wants to ask Brenda out. I think that's his true desire because he's been an admirer finds you charming, a zesty partner will help you, invest.
Zesty Brenda.
Zesty Brenda, yeah, a mysterious person, and then even the first one was be assertive and you will win and your life will be peaceful and fulfilling, and invest but never speculate. I feel like he spends a lot of his time speculating about the future instead of just going for it. And so I think his desire is to go for it, and maybe push through his social anxiety and ask Brenda out or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Megan, what is Joanne's fortune and what does she desire?
Joanne's fortune is business is a lot like playing tennis. If you don't serve well, you lose.
Oh.
I don't know. I think Joanne, my feeling is that her fondest memory is of going along with one of her ex-husbands on some sort of business trip and just lounging around and playing tennis by the pool and having a wonderful basically spending his money, and I think her greatest wish is to sort of feel that way again and maybe live this life of absolute luxury.
Okay. And Tanya, what is Tabitha's fortune?
Tabitha's fortune says, plan for many pleasures ahead.
Okay, and what does Tabitha most desire?
I feel she may want the life of luxury party time.
Okay.
That Joanne used to tell her about with with the husband that was wealthy, and Tabitha was always that sounds so dreamy, reading tarot by the pool, and it just seems so delightful. So she just would very much like to experience that, and probably with Joanne, because Joanne is super cool for an old person. So.
Okay. So as you are all trying to picture your greatest desire, and feeling relaxed and warm and at peace. You hear like a buzzing hum all around you, and it's somewhat disorienting. And then it abruptly stops and is replaced by the sound of silverware clinking and soft voices behind a curtain. And you open your eyes, and you are all seated at the table in the Chinese food restaurant. And as you're looking at each other, a few things happen at the same time. Viola, you get a text. And as you take a look at it, it's from your mother. And it says, "Just thinking of you, and wanted to remind you how proud we are of you and everything you're doing with your life."
Mhm.
And there's nothing else. There's no snarky comments about looking for a man. There are no questions, pointed questions, about your position at the university. None of the things that are usually there. Just, we love you and we're proud of you. Nelson, you get a text.
Oh, my phone works now.
Yeah, no, I was like checking all the apps, looking at my battery, like, oh.
As you're playing with your phone, it pops up with a text. And it's Brenda with a question about the assignment from last night, or from yesterday in class.
Mm-hmm.
Just a simple text from her.
He smiles.
And you feel more confident than you felt in a long time. And you find yourself typing back a response, suggesting that maybe the two of you get together for coffee to talk about the problem.
Yeah.
Tabitha, you're feeling pretty impressed with the way everything had gone. And suddenly, it occurs to you that that there's a TV on over on the side, and you look up, and the winning Powerball numbers are being displayed. And you look over at Joanne and say, "Didn't we buy a ticket?"
Yeah, we did. Oh, good call. Good call.
And Joanne, you pull it out of your bag. And the two of you spread it out on the table, uncrinkle it. And you look up at the numbers, and look down at the ticket, and look up at the numbers, and look down at the ticket.
Lucky numbers.
And yes. And somehow, the two of you, with this ticket you bought together, have won the $8.3 million Powerball.
Oh my God! $8.3 million. Oh my God!
That's like 4,600 after taxes.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, do we take the lump sum or the annuity? I always forget which is the one that makes everyone unhappy.
Oh no, you always take the lump
always take
sum.
the lump
Always take the
Yeah.
lump sum.
Okay, we're gonna do that, and we can,
We have to have an accountant. Isn't one of your exes an accountant?
one of them, yeah. Gosh, who was it? Clarence or Bob?
Nelson,
figure it out.
Nelson, that friend of yours from class, she's really good with like makeup and fashion, right? She could probably help them like kind of do that disguise thing, because you never want to go pick up the winnings looking like yourself, because then the
That
special
is
time
true,
to you.
because then people know. And I think you can like keep your identity like incognito as well.
Yeah. But you have that one friend who's really good at doesn't she do cosplay or something? You showed me some of her stuff on the forum. She's great. Beatrice.
Beatrice. Yeah.
Is that her name? I don't remember. Anyway,
I could cosplay. I could be an elf.
Me?
No.
Oh, you
My
said
motive-
be an
I
elf.
got the winnings. I wanna be an elf.
Yeah.
That would
be
nobody, and nobody would know. They would be looking for elves.
right? I mean, or you could go with me.
I've been told that with the right makeup in the right light, I can pass for Kate Blanchett.
That's
I believe it.
amazing. I believe that.
Yeah, I can see it.
So people are going to think that Kate got the money, which, like, she probably doesn't need it. And we're good to go. We could go anywhere.
We could go to that resort.
We could. Oh, my goodness.
This is gonna be the best.
It's all coming full circle.
It is. And we'd be happy
No,
to
it's really
pay
stupid.
for a nice date for Nelson and Brenda. And I don't know, you probably have what, like student loans?
Not anymore.
Oh, God, so many student loans.
So
Not
much.
anymore.
So many
Yeah.
student loans.
Pay them off.
Yes.
I'll ask my ex-husband about if there's a way to do it that won't ruin your credit, because that happens sometimes because credit doesn't make any sense. So we'll figure it out.
I'm sure we've got time for all that.
And
So-
as you are noticing all of this and getting your texts and being excited about winning the Powerball, the waitress comes over and sets down all of your cards and 4 fortune cookies. And says, I hope you had a wonderful meal, and we hope to see you again sometime.
Definitely, this was an experience to be remembered.
Yeah, I might be leaving town, but you know what? I will recommend this place to anybody that asks me for an interesting, exciting experience.
Oh, lovely. And I will
Delicious food.
I will leave it to each of you if you want to open your fortune cookies, or if you just leave them on the table.
Nelson's first impulse is to just leave him on the table, but he looks down at his phone again and he's like, maybe.
Viola 100% picks up her card, finds a $20 bill like deep in her wallet that's probably been there for like 10 years because she never does calculating. Leaves it for the tip, and just like kind of nods to everybody and leaves the restaurant. As she does, she goes through to like Facebook Messenger and messages Sarah and goes, "Hey, you still with the hot French guy?"
I love it.
Aw.
I think Tabitha would pick up her fortune cookie and hold it up to Joanne like a toast.
Yes, and we clink, and I will open mine as well.
Okay.
Same.
So if you are opening a fortune cookie, go ahead and let's see what you got.
I'll
Right.
send you
So
one.
I have toasted to our
He's got one.
Powerball.
Oh, I got one.
Great.
They also went.
Perfect.
Nelson says, "Life to you is a dashing and bold adventure."
Oh, I
That's
love that.
amazing.
No, he's gonna. He smiles to himself as he sees the fortune. He's gonna like sit up a little bit straighter.
I'm so proud of him.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a little arc. That's crazy. And
Oh.
he'd be like, huh, you know, this was weird, but it was eye-opening. He'll stand up. He'll nod to each of you. It's nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
If we ever decide to do this again, let's just get burgers next time. Yeah.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea.
Sounds delightful.
Have fun on your date.
Thank you.
Make sure to buy flowers.
Right.
And we are
Right, what
left
kind
with just Tabitha and Joanne.
So mine says, believe in your abilities, confidence will lead you on.
Okay.
I am very confident that I am going to have some of the best margaritas of my life on this trip.
Tabitha says, attend to business today. Leave that street side flower alone. So I think she's going to be like very much business, get the accountant, figure out how to take care of this money so that they can extend their pleasurable lifestyle.
Wonderful. And so that brings to a conclusion our episode of Fortune's Fools.
Yay.
Thank you all so much for playing along with this
Amazing.
crazy system.
So fun.
I love
Great.
this.
This was just the characters went places and had arcs that I was not expecting to have over the course of just a one shot. I loved this. This was so much fun. Thank
This
you
is
all
a
for
great game.
So good.
you. Thank you all for joining us and watching tonight, or watching later on VOD or YouTube, wherever you happen to be catching this. And be sure to tune in to next month's Meme of the Month. We are already scheduled for February 11th. That is a Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern again. And that one will be GM'd by the one and only Lady Bedivere. And just as a little fun little bit for you all to think about with anticipation, you may have noticed that we've done different systems for the last several games. We had Monster of the Week and Blades in the Dark. Tonight we had Fortune's Fools. And next month we're going to be doing a game using a Thirsty Sword Lesbians. So you'll want to tune in for that. Given everything that's happening right now, it doesn't hurt to see these games played with different systems.
Right.
So thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you next month. Bye.
Mm.